Hey YouTube, welcome back to Bad to the Stone. We got some more mods for Pebbles today. Gonna be, I don't know, maybe a little bit longer video. We're working on a whole bunch of lighting. We've got the Diode Dynamics fog pocket lighting kit to go down here in this bumper. And we've got the Diode Dynamics ditch lights gonna go up here by the mirrors. We've got some Oracle letters. We're gonna change out these white letters. We're gonna go with a flat black illuminated letters to go on here. And that'll match our hood and match the stripe we've got going on with some flat black lettering. And I've also got a little strip light from Diode Dynamics in amber. So we're gonna get that in behind the Ram Air hood there and see if we get a little bit of amber glow coming out the front of that is sort of the plan. So it should be nice. We're gonna have amber backlit on the fog pocket lights, amber backlit up there. These are going to be white to match the white lighting across. So yeah, basically we're just going in with a lot of lighting. So we'll talk through the wiring harness. We'll talk through which switches we're going to plug everything into. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's going to make her sparkle. I really am happy with all these. These make me happy.
Some good light mods. That's going to be awesome. Stay tuned. Hey, if you're new to the channel, we've got a few other videos out there on some mods to Pebbles here, our 2023 Bronco Badlands. Check out some of the other videos. We'd love it if you hit that subscribe button and check out what else we've got coming up in the future. All right, you ready to get some lights knocked out?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, we kind of told you a little bit of what we're going to do, but here's all of our lighting all laid out in front of us here. We've got the brackets for those Diode Dynamics. We've got our fog pocket stage series lighting kit. We've got our ditch lights and the wiring harness. We've got our Bronco lettering back there, and we've got that little Diode Dynamics strip we're going to put under the hood. We got lots of lights here going on.
I like it.
In the Diode Dynamics video, he bolts this in place first and then puts all the lights on while it's up there in the bumper. I think I saw somebody else do it where we're going to loosely mount all the lights onto here first, plug in that wiring harness, and then shove it through the hole and bolt it in place. I think that's going to save us some behind the bumper challenging work. So let's go ahead and unpack some of these and do that. But real quick on the wiring harness, I know I've seen some other videos where people bought the Panda wiring harness or some other different ones. I've watched the Diode Dynamics video and I think this is a great wiring harness. It's going to do everything that we need for the fog lights, the off-road lights, the way these 3-in-1 harnesses tap in there. You're going to get the backlight functionality for all 3 lights on each side, goes off of 1 switch, and you've got 1 auxiliary switch for the off-road lighting, 1 auxiliary switch for the fog lights, and then we'll use that 1 wire to tap into our side marker light so that the fog lights only come on when the lights are on. I'm good with that. We've marked out all of our auxiliary switches. Auxiliary switch 2 for the fog lights, auxiliary 3 will be for the off-road lights in that bumper, auxiliary 4 is the ditch lights, auxiliary 5 is going to be the backlighting on the ditch lights, so I'm going to control that backlighting separate from the ones in the bumper, and then auxiliary 6 will be the backlighting for all 6 lights in the bumper, plus the backlighting for the Bronco, plus the backlighting for the little amber lighting in behind the grill. Pretty much all the backlights and accessory lighting except for the ditch backlights, they're going to be separate. I've already looked up the wire colors for all those, so we'll tap into those under the hood. The major power parts of these wiring harnesses are pulling right off of the battery to make sure that the high amperage draw is right off the battery, and we're just using those auxiliary switches to run the relays to power all that. That's kind of how it looks. And then same thing, we've got obviously a different wiring harness for the ditch lights, but we'll run all of those wires and then we'll kind of do all the wiring work under the hood at one point. Unfortunately, to get those Bronco letters on, we got to pull the fender flares off, but they're already drilled, so with just a quick unbolt, but it would have been nice, that's where those quick release fender flares are nice, but I still like these ones way better. So we got to unbolt those, loosen them up a little bit, pull some molding parts off to be able to get to that. That'll take a little bit of work, but otherwise, let's go ahead and get these things assembling and get these bolted into the bumper, get our ditch lights bolted on, and then start wiring it in. And we'll probably play with the Bronco letters after we kind of get most of this stuff set in place. Sound good?
All right, sounds good.
All right, assembly wise, let's start with these. So grab one of these lights, and then you got a bracket. There you go. Only goes one way. Good, that keeps it simple for us. So you want the plug to the bottom. You're going to see the little nylock nuts. Put the nylon piece to the inside, and that nut is going to drop into that slot. So whichever side you put it on, make sure that the nylon is pointing towards the center.
I got it in.
Okay, and then you're going to take a washer and one of these little bolts, put that through from the outside. We want to just get these snug. We're still going to make sure we're going to be able to adjust them, so we don't want them tight. That still moves. That's what we're looking for. All right, and then you're going to go flat washer, lock washer, and we'll get those just snug where it's not going crazy moving around, but not tight either. All right, there's those ones done. So you want that flat part of that bracket pointing frontwards. And we want this bolt to be, trying to think as we're under there adjusting which is going to be easier, which way do I want that bolt to point. So the head of the bolt is going to point towards, is going to be towards the light, and then the nut goes on that backside, plastic towards the outside. And we're going to make a change now that I'm seeing we're definitely going to want to be able to get the Allen wrench on that and not have to put the wrench on the backside. So we're going to make sure that we're going to put that bolt through from the other direction. Guess you're really going to have to adjust the fog light first because I won't be able to get to that when this other one's in the way. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of an artwork getting those adjusted, I'm sure, once it's all together under there. All right, let's get our last ones. All right, so now we're going to take this wiring harness and we'll go ahead and plug this in right now. It's clearly marked which one goes into that fog light. So the fog light is this first one. So clip you down, push it in till it locks in there. And then the other two, it doesn't matter. So that should be ready to go bolt those into the bumper. So before we go do that, let's go ahead and while we're on the bench, let's at least get our ditch lights put together. All right, this time we want the plug out the bottom. So we want the two brighter, cooler lights up on the top. So the plug's going to be pointing down towards the bottom, and then this piece, yep, just like so. Okay, and these are the ones where you got to drop those little locks of the nylons to the middle. I think we're going to have to mount the bracket on the vehicle first and then put these on after. I don't know that pre-assembling this one was going to be a good idea. All right, well, we'll come back to play with that. Let's go ahead and get these things bolted up into the bumper. All right, so we've got our T40. We're going to get these bumper bolts out of here. These are tight all the way out. Okay, moment of truth. Is this going to fit in here like this, or did we just find out why they told us to do it the other way? And I think, oh, there we go. All right. So you do have to work it in from the back, but I still think that's a lot easier than trying to assemble it all when it's in there. Okay. There we go. Beautiful fit in there. Just get them all pointed and aimed later, but now it's time to start running some wires. All right, so now we've got two wiring harnesses that we want to run. Here, if you want to come over here and let's see, we've got, all right, this clearly is going to go down this side. So we'll figure that where we want to route that in a minute. Okay, this one is staying back here. All right, there is our power and our ground. So that's going to stay back here. This is the light we're going to use to tap into our side marker light. So we're going to use that one. And then this orange one is a deactivation wire that we are not going to use. So we'll figure that one out after. All right, so we need to find a nice place to mount this out of the way. We've got all our wires that are going to run up top. We've got a short one that's going to run down. And then we have the longer one that's going to go down and run to the other side. All right, so that is for the fog lights. So there's our fog light harness kit. Now let's figure out the off-road lights. All right, let's kind of detangle this while we're out here. Okay, so this one clearly stays back. There's our power and our ground. Where is our, okay, both of those ones go, and then this is switching. This one stays, let it go. That one stays back. All right, so you need both of those to get around in front of the hood pin. This one's gonna be for over here. And that one can go that way. And all this stuff stays back, and we'll find a nice place to bolt that somewhere up and out of the way for the relay. All right, so we got lots of wires to clean up after. And we've got this wire we'll keep up here. So basically these two are gonna route down to this side somewhere, and those two are gonna route down to the other side. Look up on the top and see if you can see this.
What am I looking for?
I'm moving a wire around. It should be kind of going from around behind the headlight. So
Let me see your fingers.
you can see my fingers?
Let me see them.
Okay, you see the wire that they're coming around?
Yeah.
Okay, drop those other two wires down to me then.
Okay.
Pull both of them a little bit more.
Good.
Yep. Okay, I would say that's good. Got a lot of wire management to figure out there after, but all right, we got all that. Come on over to this other side. Okay, do you see my light coming up at all?
Oh, I do, but wow, it is totally in a different place than what we assumed. Right down in here. That's where your light's coming up.
Oh, okay. Well, awesome, because yeah, that's the best place to go.
So you still want to go under this?
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Well, that'll work. We'll go totally underneath. Route those back here, zip them onto that, tie into the other wiring harness. We're good. Push down. Beautiful. Okay, I got it. Okay. Should be routed and in there nice. You can manage zippy strippies for me. I'll take one. I'll take a little one, please. So there's my accessory wires going that way. All right. I need to figure out where I'm gonna mount some of those things. All right, I need one of those little zip strips, please. Okay, this one, need to figure out still, but it's gonna go down that hole. And then, yeah, we can tuck it away, can tuck in there or something. I'm probably gonna have another one of those for the ditch lights. So let me just hang on a second for that. Those go to there, that goes to there. Those three go to battery. Now let's figure out our ditch lights. And then we're gonna wire everything at once because they kind of all go in the same sort of places. All right, these outer ones are T25, not T30s. No. All right, well, we're gonna mount the lights on the outer one, but we still need to pop up the inner one in order to route our wiring. And now that that's Loctited on, let's see if we can lift enough with it in place there. Ah, there we go. I don't think the antenna will get in our way at all. So yeah, that's what I thought. This one has a similar relay that we're gonna mount in that same spot. Got to get it routed up. Well, yeah, I mean, you probably have to walk it around those. I don't know that you can reach it, or can you? Okay. Okay. Was I gonna try to run it all the way under that cowl? Oh, that's pretty. All right, so I'm gonna do about the middle, and we're gonna do about, all right, so the corner's on about the back. Yes. Oh. Okay, go ahead and point that back under the hood, and we're gonna finish wiring this baby up, test, and then go eat some dinner. Okay, so we got the fog light relay mounted in here, and now we have our ditch lights relay right here, and we have our off-road lights relay right here, and I have a nice spot. I can bolt those right there. I need a little spacer in behind, so I'm going to stack up about 4 washers or so in behind so it sits flat. All right, wasn't too bad in here. Got the fender liner pulled down, got the back of that headlight plug off, and tapped into that side marker light, the green-brown wire on the side. Just dropped that wire down from in behind the headlight. Gonna go ahead and plug this back in, and we should be able to wire up underneath the hood. Got them tapped into the side. I'm gonna run this little strip across the top, drop it down. I'm gonna wire the rest of that up. I'll just kind of shove in the back lights to make sure they work, and then I'll work on this. All right, let's get this light stuck across the top here. So just get some alcohol wipes and make sure that I am clean for that to stick. All right, we'll just kind of center that up. It's not the full width, but that's all right. All right, let's start hooking up some wires. So these are ditch lights. We got blue for backlight, yellow for power. These are my fog lights activation. So let's get them knocked out first. And then, where's the rest of my harness out of the... All right, so those, well, let's just make sure. Okay, good job. All right, correction. There is ditch lights activation and backlights. So those we can hook up. And then there's ditch lights left and right. And we did not leave enough wire to get back to the battery with those. All right, I'm gonna have to extend these 2 wires a little bit to get them long enough. These ones, I've got enough. All right, let me go find some heavier wire. I've got to extend those. Yeah, well, the wires just need to come out this side. Here's what I can do. I can just hook the 2 of those together, and I can make a little L bracket and bolt it on there, and that would work fine. All right, so actually, I guess I need an S bracket, not an L bracket. All right, we're ready to get in here and start putting some of this together. I need to mount that relay, these 2 relays. In order to get the wires to reach, just needed to modify this a little bit. So I think we've got a little bracket here that's gonna have this do what we need now. Get that screwed together, we get it mounted on the firewall, and we should be in business. That one will now reach the battery, so will that. And we will do away with all these other wires. And we'll tuck all these other ones up somewhere. Let's get this bolted on. All right, so here's ditch lights. We got blue for backlight, yellow for activate. So let's get in here and see what I wanted for that. So for ditch lights I want 4, and ditch lights, backlights I want 5. So ditch lights are gonna be brown. Okay, ditch lights, brown. Ditch backlights are gonna be 5, which is gonna be blue-orange. Yes, there's blue-orange. This is off-road lights. This is backlights for everything on the front, and then this is off-road lights activation. Off-road is number 3, which is violet green. All right. All right, now we have our fog lights. This is our fog lights power. Fog lights are gonna ground out here at the battery. So here is the power for those. Fog lights are number 2, green brown. All right, a little heavier wire since this is actually powering them. All right, let's give all these a little bit of shrink treatment here. Okay, so now we've got 3 grounds here. I want to figure out how to keep all these out of everybody else's way. All right, 2 positives to go over there. 3 grounds that we will stack up over here. All right, and then aux number 6 is the everything else backlight. So aux number 6 is yellow-orange. All right, here's our yellow-orange. Okay, I still need 1 more wire out of there because that is going to be backlights for the bumper. I've got the backlight for up here, but I still need to have 1 more wire to run to my Bronco lettering. So I think we're going to up this to a blue grommet, get 2 wires out this side, and got the 2 wires out the other side, and I think then we'll be in good shape. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw another wire in there for now so I can get it together, and I'll have the wire I need for my Bronco lettering when I get that hooked up. All right, time to go get Cindy, flip some switches, see if we got this thing wired up right, and then we can clean up this monster mess of wiring that we've got going on here.
I am.
Ready for their moment of truth?
I'm ready.
Okay, so this should be yellow lights on the ditch lights. These ditch lights should be backlit amber?
Yes.
Okay, and then now they should come on super bright?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's working. Now we should have... Okay, the fog lights are on, but let's see if, all right, they should go off. Yes. Okay.
Yes, they're off, yeah.
And then they come on. So fog lights are on, fog lights are off.
Yes.
3, we should have all 3.
Yes.
Okay. And then this should give us amber
Amber.
across all 6.
Yes.
How about up under the hood?
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know about that one.
Well, that's what's hopefully going to point out the little grill out the front.
Ah, okay.
I mean, it's pointed down, but you know, it should be putting a glow out the front when it's down. Okay, we made lights.
Cool.
All right, we just got Bronco lettering left to do.
All right.
All right, well, we got success. Everything is wired in correctly. I've got this blue wire here, so I'll be able to run the lead that I need for my Bronco lettering once I get those on there. First, I'm gonna clean up this mess of all this wire right here, so you don't need to sit here and watch me do that. So I'll give you a shot once all the wiring is cleaned up, and then we'll finish pulling that grill off and working on that Bronco lettering. And then once it gets dark, probably gonna have to wait till tomorrow night, then we'll be able to aim all those front lights on here, and then we'll be done. I gotta say, all this lighting between ditch lights, those front ones, Bronco lettering, yeah, it's a few hours worth of work. That is not gonna go super fast, and by the time you try to make it look nice and clean it up, definitely give yourself a good solid afternoon to make all that happen and get it done. But that's all right, let's clean up some wires. I am happy with how it turned out, that's the main thing, and we'll see you back here in a little bit when we start working on the letters. All right, we still have the Bronco lettering to go, but just a quick shot of our wire management. So to get over to our stage series lights on this side, we went all the way down and across, down into that corner, that passed all the way through, underneath the air cleaner, kind of routed them along the top, along some wires. You can see where we mounted the fog light relay and everything else. And then it's kind of hidden away back in there, but made that little S bracket to mount the other 2 relays. And then all the rest of the wire pretty much just kind of mounted it up on the firewall there, or up on the fender, and tucked it out of the way, wrapped it along itself. It's a lot of extra wires, not gonna lie. And it could maybe have tucked it back in the fender a little more, but you know, I thought it looks pretty clean there. It doesn't look terrible. You're probably thinking, wow, why not just cut those wires shorter and get rid of them? And the Diode Dynamics lights come with a warranty on them, and if you cut up their wire harness, then it voids the warranty. So that's the reason why I left them all long. Otherwise, yes, there's definitely some of those wires I would have loved to have cut 3 or 4 feet out of that wiring harness and just recrimped or soldered the wires back together to shorten them up. That would definitely make a lot neater look. But like I say, that would actually void the warranty as well. So it's all tucked up and it doesn't look terrible. All right, that blue wire, that is gonna be for the backlighting for the Bronco letters. So we've got that ready to go. I'm gonna end up having to run a longer ground wire somewhere up there as well. I'm not exactly sure where I'll mount that ground wire, but we'll get that clamped in somewhere. So we've got that left to go, but let's go ahead and get this grill off and let's start tearing these Bronco letters out of here and getting the new ones in place. And then we'll be just about done with this whole wiring video. All we have left to do after that is align the lights on the front. Just make sure we get those Stage Series pocket lights all pointed in the right direction. All right, it's time to get this grill off, get our Bronco letters on there. So again, Oracle's got a really nice video on this. We'll see if it goes as smooth. Since I no longer have the quick release fenders, already unbolted those, already got those fenders off so that we'll be able to pull our side pieces. So step one, get in here with the panel tool and pop out these 9 quick release clips here. You can use a screwdriver as well if you don't have a little panel tool. Since I've got these, I figure I'll give them a try. All right, those are the easy ones. These next ones are down in holes a little bit more. Kind of a mix of panel tool, fingernails, dig them suckers out of there. All right, definitely the ones down in the little holes here. A little tougher to get some of these out. All right, definitely for down in the holes, that was helping. All right, next up we got 4 bolts holding the grill on, 10 millimeter. Let's knock those out of there. All right, they do have some Loctite on them, so they're snug. All right, now I've got the fenders off. We're gonna pop out the bottom painted section of this trim here. So we should be pulling out from the side. Okay, came out not too bad. All right. Clips along the bottom. Voila! They came out pretty decent. All right, we got to undo our camera here. All right, little piece to push right there. And then we've got this little vacuum line here that also, I'm not really sure what this line is, has some liquid in it, but it's got a squeeze to disconnect. So we got that undone as well. All right, so we should be all undone. So now we got our good hand underneath and on top. And just a good snap pull there. And actually these clips are not bad at all. Voila! Grill is removed. All right, gonna go get a 1/4-inch drill and punch those letters out of there. Also need a 30 Torx to get our trail cam moved out of the way here. Yeah, pretty much the opposite side of the trail cam. I want to get our wires to go up and I want to route them out over this side. That's where we're going to be going to our switches and power. So we'll be getting all our letters, route all our wires probably straight up here behind this, zip strip them into there, and really don't know what that little water line has to do with the trail cam. Fascinating. Never quite as easy as the video, so not sure what's going on there. Yeah, they just really got melty on this D and got it super stuck on there. Didn't want to go from the front side and scratch where we're going to see, so anyway, punched holes in that one, but we don't need that letter anymore anyway. All right, just want to flatten these out, make sure there's no bump that's going to keep our letter from sticking flat on here. I am going to just make sure we don't stick letters on here backwards. So let's make sure we got this thing laying here exactly the right way so we don't screw anything up. All right, we'll get our alcohol wipe here. All right, I gotta say these letters are pretty cool. They've got some definite weight to them. They feel really good. Eh, might have got that end just a little crooked. We have letters. And they look pretty good. I don't think anybody will be able to tell that that end is slightly crooked. I can just barely see it off of that bottom and top edge if I stare at it. So let's flip this back over and get some wiring done. And I want it going out the top, so let's kind of keep it oriented. Make sure we don't lose track of what we're doing here. All right, this kind of has a little pop into place. Okay. I think we're gonna have to extend this one. I just don't see how we're gonna get them all to one spot there. Okay, we should have 6 letters all wired up to one positive, one negative to feed out once we get this on the vehicle. Whew, wiring takes a little longer than you think it's going to. Let's go ahead and get this thing mounted back in place. All right, we got a couple of big alignment pins here up at the top. Okay. Kind of more or less in place. My wires are going to come through. Let me get these things hooked up here. Nice, just a pushing. All right, we got our trail cam. That's back in place. That seems to be lined up. We're all on top of our clips. I'm in my guide pin there. Got push clips there. Something seems, guide pin on top, bolt lines up. What seems to be the problem here? Okay. All right, just one of these clips here on the bottom was just a little bit off to the side. Okay, your windshield washer squirters come through and spray that front trail camera so you can see where you're going. That's what goes on with that water line coming through there. That's windshield washer fluid. How freaking ingenious is that? All right, well, there we go. Mystery solved. Liking that flat black on there. All right, let's get our bottom piece snapped in. Yeah, that's all in there. All right, we've got a little alignment piece here too. There we go. And wow, they just kind of go right in there. Okay, that's a bit of an up and around, and that's in there. Let's get our 410 mils in. All right, let's get our wires locked in here. So my black on my grounds. And then my blue wire. All right, some stick-on clips, and we got that all nice and tucked in there. You can see one little touch of wire behind the end. The rest looks awesome. Okay, we are wired in. Let's check it, test it before we put the rest of this together. All right, it should just be on number 6, all the backlights. That looks awesome. That matches right in there with the daytime running lights. We got that Bronco on the front. That looks freaking amazing. All right, let's get this thing snapped together and we are ready to wrap up this video. All right, there we go. Perfect. Wires are coming out over here on the side. No issues. Let's get all our pushes back in there. Perfect. All right, tighten up a couple of these wires over here and we are done. Okay, that's fine over there. All right, that's what that looks like in the daytime when it's all nice and bright in here. So at night, that should look pretty impressive. There, we turned off the garage lights. I think that looks pretty cool. A ram air hood with a little bit of back glow to it. All right, I'm gonna get the fender flares back on. Tonight we will aim all of our front lights and then we will wrap this baby up. All right, can't do a lighting video without at least showing some of what's going on with the lights. So I don't think the backlights are gonna do much from here, but if you turn the backlights on, that gives you a little bit of ambers out there. The ditch lights come on for backlights. But here we go. Here are those fogs. So that adds a lot more out there. Again, off. The camera kind of wants to shut down with too much light, but there you go, the fogs. And then if we turn the fogs off and turn on the off-road lights, get a lot of light going on up in there. A lot of light. And then these ditch lights. Throw some good light out to the side. All right, that's what all this lighting looks like from Diode Dynamics. Well, YouTube, that's a wrap on another video here in the Bad to the Stone shop. Hope you enjoyed getting all this lighting on Pebbles. We're definitely loving how it looks. Dropping in a couple pictures for you here. You can see what that looks like in some different lighting. But yeah, really happy with how this all came together. Majority of the lighting is from Diode Dynamics. The Bronco letters, that's from Oracle. Bottom line, great looking lighting from any of those vendors out there. Hey, if you're new to the channel, great time to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're checking out some of the other videos we have on here, the other mods on Pebbles. And until next time, hope you're out in your own Bronco keeping it bad to the stone. We'll be here in the shop working on some more mods for you. I've already got some other videos ready to go, just need some editing. So go ahead, set an alert on the channel, and you can check out when that next video comes out. See y'all soon.